Well, hello there. My name is Dan Smith with Positivity, and today I'm going to tell you how you can start earning 12% with lending that makes a difference. So, I'm going to start here by telling you our story at Positivity Lending. We were established in September of 2018, and we help small, medium, and micro enterprises flourish and grow in their own countries without the aid of foreign governments. Currently, we're serving the country of Kenya. And since our inception, we have grown 1,000% a year in both the size of our microloan portfolio and our client base year after year. And we have a microlending platform that is dedicated to the success not only to our lenders but our borrowers. And the secret to our success is that our borrowers have less than a 1% default rate on our loans. Right now, we're hearing that the default rate in the United States to major banks and microlending institutions such as LendingClub is hitting about 6%, about 6 times what our default rates are in Positivity Lending. And we offer our borrowers a much lower interest rate per month when compared to our competitors. And our microloans are processed generally within 48 hours for our qualifying clients and borrowers. Our lenders also receive a better return on their lending funds than most other microfinance companies and what they offer. All right, so let's take a look at how Positivity Lending is solving a problem. And we started in Kenya in 2018 with a region that has a market population of over 55 million people, but only 3% of the population have access to banks, meaning that 53 million people do not participate in a traditional financial banking industry. Let me just say that again. 53 million people do not participate in the financial industries that we normally see here in the United States. So by meeting this rising need for microlending, we aim and we do help entrepreneurs build businesses and create jobs in their communities. Now, microlending is a smart strategy for achieving your long-term financial goals. And at Positivity, we can help you build your investments safely, where all you have to do is sit back and watch your funds grow. So many people will go, well, what is microlending? Well, microlending is the process of connecting overall a borrower and a lender for a non-traditional smaller loan. Now, the borrower usually uses these microloans if they do not have access to local financial institutions, or if they have poor credit, or if they want a loan that is much smaller than what their bank will even allow or lend. Many times banks want to get you into a loan that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Where microloans, they just really need it within 30, 60 days. Now, investors turn to microloans to earn much higher rates of return and to diversify their portfolios across different types of debt and different loans. And microlending is heavily supported by peer-to-peer lending digital capabilities that connect borrowers and investors and lending platforms across the world. And there are many, many different types of microlending platforms online, each with their own loan requirements, fees, and policies. So let's take a look at the pros of microlending. It is high liquidity, stable returns with monthly interest payments and broad diversification options. Now, generally speaking, the cons of microlending is unsecured loans, which you can think of your credit card and your wallet as an unsecured loan, lower quality borrowers, and a default rate that might be higher than traditional banking. But what I've just shown you is that we are lower currently than what's happening here in the default rates of the United States. And at the end of the day, microlending isn't risk-free, but it isn't as volatile as the stock or crypto market. And if you're hearing Bank of America telling you that the stock market's going to lose another 24% in 2023, well, that means your 401ks, your investments, your IRAs are going to lose money too in 2023. And with yield starting at 12% per year, microlending is an interesting investment alternative for many investors because again, you're sitting outside of the stock or crypto market. So let's take a look at something here called the Financial Technology Industry Overview and Key Trends. And this slide really is to just show you the fintech or financial technology industry is expecting a compound annual growth rate of 25% a year. So it's right now at about $132 billion a year industry, which will grow to over $400 billion within the end of 2027, or less than 5 years from now. If we look at the fintech or financial technology industry by geography, North America is the largest, with South America and Asia right behind, and then Europe, Africa, and Australia are, in Australia it includes the South Pacific Islands, is coming up. They really are the bottom side of the financial technology industry. So people go, what is fintech? Well, the major products and services in fintech are robo-advertising, AI advertising, artificial intelligence that helps to, put advertisers with people that are looking for set or certain investments. We also have payment gateways. A lot of people, payment gateways are all those times you put your credit card, slide it into a business. Those payment gateways are financial tech industry. That's the back end of processing your credit cards and gift cards. Mobile payments. Venmo is a fintech. Micro lending, peer-to-peer payments, using your Apple Pay. That is big, huge in the fintech industry. Consumer banking. Now, these we have to think of Allied Bank, SoFi, some of these non-traditional banks that are online only. Not thinking of Chase or Bank of America in this case, because again, they do participate and they're big in the fintech industry, but their business is not all fintech in that sense. And lastly, budgeting applications, things of Mint or some of those others, Trulia, or some of those other applications out there that track your spending and the income. Now, if we take a look at microlending by geography, we can see that overall it's a $124 billion industry growing by leaps and bounds. It's interesting that in the microlending industry, and take a look at this whole, 80% of the borrowers happen to be women. And 65% happen to be used for rural borrowing. Okay, so that means more than 2/3 of the borrowers are not in major cities or population centers. Now, your biggest area right now, still Latin America. We looked at this. Peru, Bolivia are two of the biggest markets in Latin America. Southeast Asia. Now, this number here is predominantly India. India is one of the largest countries with microlending. And look at this. 89% of the borrowers in this market are female, with 72% of the people being in rural areas. Conversely, look at this number right here, 23% in Latin America are in. So again, microlending here in Peru and Bolivia is a lot of people in the cities, in their big cities of Lima, Peru. So this is the difference. And right here in Africa, we're looking at about $10 billion, with about 64% of the borrowers being women. And again, most of them being 60% being in rural areas. Now, there's some key players. You may have seen some of these businesses. Square, lots of businesses use Square. PayPal, Tencent, and a few other companies here. These are some of the companies, top 5, that happen to be big players in the microlending industry. And people will say, well, what are the associated risks with the fintech industry? Well, you participate in the fintech, you have a debit or credit card, consumer data breach. I don't know how many of you out there have gotten an email or a text saying, hey, we may have, your card may have been compromised, but it happens all over, especially in big countries like United States. We got a lot of people trying to attack the financial institutions through the cyber risk here. So consumer data breach is the biggest. This is where people, lose their access to, password hacking. The financial risk and legal risk are very small to the average borrower. That's more or less probably the banks and the financial institutions themselves. So, but cyber risks are very big, so everybody's trying to keep the hackers out so that they don't breach the consumer data. So let's take a look at how it works. Okay, so Positiviti is going to take your investment into microloans to those small and medium businesses in Kenya. And so you get to earn interest while helping others achieve their business goals. Just like you may have borrowed money to start a business, in this case, you're giving people that don't even have access to money to be able to develop a business, to build on their business, to get stock for their business. Microloans are returned with principal and interest. So that means you're getting principal and interest returns, and the interest gains are reported to those lenders, to you. And eventually we might want to expand to Uganda and Rwanda in the near future, which is a consideration because of the way the network is building out from Kenya to their neighboring countries. So a big question we get is, who is managing the loan process in Kenya? Well, Positiviti Lending partnered with Open Valley Investment Group in Kenya since 2018, and is led by co-founder and president Dr. Barry Oyambo and his management team. And they have over 50 years of combined experience in working with small to medium micro enterprises, and they operate out of Nairobi and Kisumu. And here's the big thing: we have over 200 field reps. Remember, we're helping people get jobs. We have over 200 field reps working throughout the country, including many rural areas. And the success in Kenya has allowed the team to open up a credit union as well. So we have the Africa Rebuilding Savings and Credit Cooperative, which was founded to address many financial challenges facing these small and micro businesses in Africa. And it's really to get the people to start in the micro lending, and once they develop their credit level enough, then they can deposit into the credit union, and boom, now they're part of that 3% growing to 4 to 5% of Kenyans who, helping them grow into a traditional banking and credit union system. Now, this is just some of our team here, Dr. Barry and some of the team that are working with him in Nairobi and in Kisumu. And many people go, well, how does a borrower get loans in Kenya? Well, one is through the AfriCash app, all right? And so Positiviti uses a software app that automates the lending through a platform called AfriCash. They download it on their smartphone, and Kenya is unique because of the mobile money lending app. It credits them with low interest loans with flexible repayment schedules. And our loans are 30-day loans typically. Now, the app will quickly get to our borrowers the cash they need by transferring the loan straight to their mobile wallet, which is secured by M-Pesa. Now, M-Pesa is a backbone that is used by all Kenyan financial institutions, from big banks to micro lenders. Everybody secures a wallet through M-Pesa. And let's just take a look at a couple of our customers who have used the apps. And Faith has said through the AfriCash loan app, she was able to finish paying school fees for her 2 children. Thank you, AfriCash. Grace was able to add the stock she needed for her kiosk at her local market using the AfriCash app to refill her stock and turn around and make more money selling her fruits and vegetables. Now, we mentioned how confident can you be with your money and how secure is it? Well, I mentioned the M-Pesa network. Okay, this is the mobile phone-based money transfer service that was developed by Vodafone and Safaricom in 2007, built on the blockchain, which was developed by IBM. And Safaricom is the largest mobile network operator in Kenya. Vodafone is a very large European mobile and phone company operating, I believe, out of Sweden. Now, this allows users to deposit, withdraw, transfer money, pay for goods and services, access credit savings, all with a mobile device. You notice they say mobile device, not a smartphone, because all you need is a mobile number. Then you get a PIN, with M-Pesa, and you just transfer and receive money with your mobile number and your mobile PIN. It's that simple for people in Kenya to use their mobile devices to pay for and receive money. This also allows users to deposit money into an account stored on their cell phones. They can send these balances using that PIN-secured SMS text messages to other users, and this includes sellers of goods and services, and they can redeem their deposits for regular money. So they can go to the market. They don't even have to have any cash. They can literally text payment. Just think of Venmo. If you've ever used Venmo and downloaded the app, but in this case, you don't even have to do it. Just think of texting somebody, your friend, I want to send you $5, and you have a PIN, and they get $5 received into their text, and you will have $5 removed from your mobile account. Now, customers can deposit and withdraw money from a network of agents with AfriCash that includes airtime resellers and retail outlets who act as banking agents. Again, these people are not going to a bank. So many small stores, think of a 7-Eleven as being a banking agent. Think of a Verizon mobile store, a T-Mobile mobile store being a banking agent. Okay. Now, this service has been lauded for giving millions of people access to the financial system and for reducing crime in an otherwise largely cash-based society. But one other thing that's not here on this slide, over 5 million Kenyans have been lifted out of poverty and into a normalized financial system. Let me get that again. Over 5 million Kenyans through the M-Pesa network has been able to lift themselves out of abject poverty and into a more normalized financial system. That is huge. Over 10% of the population has been lifted out of poverty to date. Now, privacy is positivity. We want everything we do is secure. All the data we do is highly encrypted and protected. We have data privacy, so we're never going to sell any data from our lenders and our borrowers. And we are ethical in our collections. We don't want to do anything aggressive in our debt collection practices. It is very big to do debt shaming in many foreign countries. There are a lot of laws. They don't have the same protections that maybe we do in certain states or in certain countries. So we're always ethical if we have to do collections. So you're probably going to be asking yourself, all right, how can I earn 12% annually or even 36% annually? Remember, I've only been talking about 12%. You're now going, what? 36% annually? Well, here's how you can do it. We have 2 levels to let lenders into our program. To achieve 1% a month, 12% a year, any investment less than $50,000 gets you started at 1% a month. But if you want to earn the 36% a year, 3% a month, a simple investment of $50,000 or more, and you start earning 3% a month. Now, the interest will be earned monthly and visible to all lenders via their personal account on the Positiviti Lending website. If a lender chooses to participate below that $50,000 mark, once the account has matured past that $50,000 mark, they're going to earn 3% a month. So we're not going to punish you just to getting in at 1%. Once you get up to that $50,000 mark currently, you'll start earning 3% a month. And this is how it works. So let's say you gave money at the beginning of January, you register online, money is transferred to Positiviti. February 1st, that money is transferred into the lending pool for the Kenyans to borrow that money. Now, all loans, because they're 30-day loans, are paid with principal and interest by March 1st. And on March 15th, you're credited with interest earned from February lending pool. Okay? And the lender receives the interest earned for 12 consecutive months. Now, we do want to state here real quick that our program states that you will leave the money in for 13 months. Think of it as a 13-month CD, but instead of earning 3% or 2% on that CD, you could be earning up to 36% in that 13 months. I'm going to reiterate that again. You could be earning as much as 36% annually over the next 13 months. I'm going to show you an example of what it will look like after 1 year, 2 years, and up to 12 years if you just started with a simple $50,000. So let's say you got $50,000 in January 2023, right now, coming up. You get it in there. By the end of December, at the end of the year, at the end of 2023, you're going to have earned $18,000. So that means January 2024, you're starting with $68,000. Now, if you wanted to start drawing on that money, you could take it out. You could take that profit out and leave the $50,000 in there and start it all over again. You could start here at $68,000. Maybe you don't want to leave it in for the next year. Maybe you want to just start drawing on it. If you wanted to, you could start drawing $2,000 a month off that 68. Just leave the 68 in and get a check every month for $2,000. But let's say you decide to wait for 2 years and hold that money in. At the end of 2 years, 24 months, look at that. You started at $50,000. Now you have $92,000 at the beginning of January 2025. If you decide then you want to start taking money out, okay, I can start drawing money out. Let's say after 2 years you want to take some cash flow out, you could start taking $2,700 a month. But if you leave it in there for a full 3 years, full 36 months, at the beginning of that 4th year, there's how much money you have, more than double. Warren Buffett tells you that you should double your money in the stock market every 7.5 years. We have doubled your money in less than 3 years. You're getting $125,000 here. But look, let's take some of that back. You're about here, about 30 months, you will have doubled your money. Now, at the end of 3 years, if you say, gosh, that's great, I want to start taking a dividend, this is the monthly dividend you could be paying yourself and leaving this $125,000 in there and just start paying yourself $3,700 a month at the end of 3 years. Now, if you're one of these that says, hey, I'm not ready to retire, I'm going to let that ride it out, and I'm going to ride it out for a full 10 years, 12 years. Let's say you go full 12 years. $50,000. At the end of 12 years, you will have $2 million, and you will have earned $1.95 million in interest off that one simple $50,000 investment. Pretty good, huh? So, will a lender incurs fee for withdrawing principal and balance and interest? Once we have a 1 year anniversary. It's just like a CD. You're going to keep your money in there for at least 13 months. You will fill out a request form. If you want to take any distribution, take your money out, take the profit out, or start getting a payment every 30 days, we just simply fill out a form. You tell us what you want to do, and boom, that money can come back to you. Many people go, well, are there other companies in USA participating in microlending? Well, yes, there are. There are over 315 companies based in the United States that are doing microlending all around the world. Now, some of the biggest companies happen to be Kiva, which was one of the early companies in this industry. The CEO of Kiva left Kiva and started Branch. Kiva is a nonprofit company. Branch is a for-profit company. Branch right here is now worth over $500 million in less than 6 years, and it has acquired over $250 million in venture capital funds. Tala, some people may have heard of Tala. Shivani did a TED Talk in around 2017, I believe it was, and she was talking about how Tala was growing by leaps and bounds. Tala is now an emerging unicorn in the financial world, which means it's got a value of over $800 million with over $375 million of venture capitalist funds. These venture capitalists happen to be PayPal Venture Capital Group. Some of the original founding members of PayPal, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and others, are still invested with PayPal Venture Capital Group. So you can think Elon Musk, Peter Thiel is invested in Tala. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is also invested in some microlending companies as well across the world. This is where a lot of people are playing in this arena in the venture capital space. And these are just some of the biggest companies out there. And also in Kenya, we will also see many companies flirting with this investment model in Kenya alone. Now, Positiviti is Africash. That is our African app in Kenya. KCB is a bank. They're one of Kenya's largest banks here. Here we see Tala and Branch. And look at this. Africash, the minimum amount's 50 Kenyan shillings. And our max amount is around 60,000 Kenyan shillings. Remember, this is a bank here. KCB is a bank. So they're willing to loan a lot of Kenyan shillings. Now, just to let you know, people go, oh my gosh, how much is a Kenyan shilling? 50 Kenyan shillings right here is about 60 cents. Yes, we'll allow somebody to borrow as low as 60 cents. Okay. Branch loan, Tala loan, their minimums are 1,000. Notice that everyone is in the 30-day realm. You'll get a few. Loop is much bigger. Again, this is a banking back end here, financial institution here. So they're 6 to 36 months. But listen, everybody is 30 days. Oshkosh loan, 15 to 21 days. Zenka loan, 61 days. There are over 50 companies in Kenya alone in this space. So the question is, how do you become a lender at Positiviti today? First, schedule a meeting myself or my partner Jan. That would be the first step. And we can go through, discuss your personal situation, and help you understand in depth your personal returns and gains with Positiviti. But you can also go to the website and register online, where you can download the registration packet and form, fill out the NDA, and then identify Dan or Jan as your account manager. Once you've done all of that, you will then confirm a deposit of investment, and wiring instructions will be sent to you. How you could do that through email, or you can mail a cashier's check as well. Please do not send us any cash. But then again, the best way is just to schedule a one-to-one meeting with myself or Dr. Jan Hale. We wanted to thank you for allowing us to explain Positiviti today. And we know we have a lot of questions coming in. We will be taking these questions offline here. And again, we encourage you to set an appointment with us directly. We would love to go over the program, your specific questions answered, and anything you want to know about Positiviti and micro lending, and how we can help you achieve 12 to 36% return on your money. Again, thank you, and have a blessed day.